Welcome back to Chasing Masculinity, the podcast where we explore what it means to live a life of purpose, integrity, and faith. I'm your host, Colton Wutzke, and today we're diving into a topic that everyone can relate to: change. Let me start by painting a picture. Imagine you're standing on the edge of a diving board staring down at the pool below. You know the water will catch you, but the leap feels daunting. The thing about change, just like that jump, it's inevitable. It's necessary, and yet it's something we often resist because of the uncertainty that comes with it. But here's the truth. If you stay on that diving board, you're never going to experience the thrill of the dive, the refreshment of the water, or the growth that comes from taking the plunge. Change, much like that leap, isn't just something to welcome, it's something that you must provoke and demand. Today's episode is all about Rule 10 from the 24 Rules of Masculinity. You cannot just welcome change, you must provoke it, demand it, and it must come from within. This rule challenges the idea that change should be passive or reactive. Instead, it calls us to take charge of it, to demand it, and to make it work for us. Change is a constant, universal force. It's happening around us all the time, but unless we actively engage with it, we risk being swept along by it instead of directing it towards our goals. We're going to explore why change is so impactful, how it shapes us on personal and societal levels, and why it's not enough to simply accept it. Instead, we'll talk about the importance of provoking change, taking that leap and making it intentional. This rule is one of my favorites because it's such a powerful reminder of how important action is in life. Too often, we think of change as something that happens to us, something external that we just kind of have to deal with. But the thing is, true masculinity is about taking control of your life and steering it in the direction God calls you to. So this episode is all about the resources I've found to help me embrace change, or the lessons from one of my many stumbling blocks I've hit while trying to navigate this topic myself. I am by no means an expert at navigating change. I would be skeptical of anyone who said that they were, but I'm always trying to embrace it in every way I can. Whether it's a career shift, a personal habit, or even a change in mindset, the greatest transformations in life don't happen by accident. They happen because we demand more of ourselves. And, as we'll discuss today, the first step in mastering change is understanding it, not as a threat, but as a tool for growth. So if you've ever felt stuck, afraid of the unknown, or unsure how to take the next step in your life, this episode is for you. By the end of today's conversation, you'll walk away with a clearer understanding of how to embrace, provoke, and demand change. Not just survive it, but to thrive because of it. All right, let's jump into it. Now, understanding change often starts with recognizing its dual nature. On one hand, it holds immense promise, the opportunity to grow, to innovate, to move forward in life. But on the other hand, it comes with a certain level of unpredictability and discomfort that makes us hesitate. That hesitation is what I want to focus on today. The key to mastering change isn't just about being ready for the good parts, it's about preparing for and navigating the challenges that come with it. There is a concept in mathematics called a delta. It refers to the difference between 2 points, where you are now and where you want to be. That difference, or delta, is what makes change so intimidating. Think about starting a new job. You know your current role, your coworkers, your responsibilities. It's comfortable, even if it's not fulfilling. The new role might offer more growth or opportunity, but it's also unfamiliar. And that unfamiliarity creates fear. It's the delta that holds us back because it represents the gap between what we know and what we don't. Let's dive deeper into the meaning of delta and why it's such a critical concept when it comes to understanding and mastering change. In its simplest form, delta represents difference, a measure of variance between 2 points. When we apply this to life, delta becomes the space between where we are now and where we want to be. But it's more than just a gap. It's a representation of the unknown, the possibilities and the challenges that come with moving from one state to another. Delta is the tension between the familiar and the unfamiliar. It's the reason change feels uncomfortable, even when it's positive. That discomfort comes from the uncertainty that delta introduces. We know our current situation. It may not be perfect, but it's predictable. On the other side of the gap, however, lies something unknown. Will the new job be what you hoped for? Will the relationship you're working on improve? Will the risk you're taking pay off? It's the fear of these unanswered questions that often makes delta seem insurmountable. At the same time, though, delta isn't just about fear, it's also about opportunity, the gap where growth happens. It's the space where you challenge yourself to learn, adapt, and become better. Delta forces you out of your comfort zone and into a place where you can stretch your limits. Without it, life would be stagnant. Imagine if we never pushed beyond what we already know or have. There would be no innovation, no personal development, no progress. Delta, for all its discomfort, is a necessary part of moving forward. To make this concept tangible, think about a major life change you've faced, whether it was starting a new job, moving to a new city, or just taking on a big challenge. The delta in each of these scenarios was the difference between your starting point and that unknown future you were stepping into. Maybe it was scary. Maybe you hesitated. But if you embraced that gap and moved forward, you likely found growth on the other side. The Bible gives us countless examples of people navigating their delta moments. One that stands out to me is the Israelites crossing the Red Sea. On one side, they had Egypt, a place of slavery, but also familiarity. On the other side lay the wilderness and, eventually, the Promised Land. The sea between was their delta, a literal and metaphorical gap filled with uncertainty and fear. They hesitated, doubted, and even questioned Moses' leadership, but when they stepped forward in faith, the sea parted, and the path to freedom and growth was revealed. Delta challenges us to make a choice. Stay where it's comfortable but stagnant, or move into the unknown where growth awaits. It's not an easy choice, but a necessary one. By understanding delta not as a barrier, but as a bridge, we can shift our mindset. The gap isn't there to stop you, it's there to push you. It's an invitation to become more, to reach further, and to step into the life that God has planned for you. Delta is the space where transformation happens. It's where we confront our doubts, take risks, and ultimately become better versions of ourselves. It's not something to fear, it's something to embrace. And when we approach it with faith, courage, and intentionality, we find that the gap isn't an obstacle, it's an opportunity. The Bible addresses this fear of the unknown in powerful ways. Another one of my favorite examples is the story of Abraham. God told him to leave his home and go to a land that he would show him, a place Abraham had never seen or never heard of. Abraham didn't hesitate. He trusted in God's promise and stepped into that unknown, embracing the delta between his present and his future. That trust is what allowed him to become the father of many nations. It's a story that reminds us that, while the gap may seem overwhelming, faith can carry us through. I want you to take a moment to reflect on this. What is your delta? Where are you right now, and where do you want to be? Maybe it's a career shift, a relationship that needs repair, or a personal goal that you've just downright been avoiding. Whatever it is, think about the gap between where you are and where you'd like to be. How much of that gap is filled with fear or uncertainty? And more importantly, what can you do today to start bridging that gap? Navigating the delta is never easy, but it is always worth it. When you learn to embrace the discomfort and step forward despite it, you'll find out that the unknown isn't as daunting as it seemed. It's in those moments of faith and action that real growth happens. Let's explore how we can do this together. So we know now that change is an inevitable part of life, but how we approach it makes all the difference. Recognizing and embracing change is not about accepting every shift or trend without discernment, but rather about developing the wisdom and adaptability to face it with intention and purpose. The first step is to acknowledge the reality of change. It's happening constantly, whether we like it or not. Resisting change entirely is not a strategy. It's denial. Instead, we need to focus on how to approach it with a mindset of opportunity rather than fear. When we talk about embracing change, I'm not saying you should advocate for blind acceptance of everything. Certain principles, morals, and values should remain steadfast. These are the hills worth dying on, the foundations of who we are and what we believe. For instance, just because societal trends move in one direction doesn't mean we should just follow suit, especially when those trends conflict with our faith and core values. There are changes that drive progress and advancement. Things like technological innovations or shifts in how we work and commute. By learning to distinguish between the two, we can embrace change that aligns with our goals and faith while standing firm where it matters most. Take technological advancement as an example. Innovations like electricity or the internal combustion engine or online banking drastically transformed how people live. These changes didn't just happen, they were driven by the need to solve problems and improve life. Resisting such changes would have meant falling behind and missing out on the benefits they offer. The same is true for personal growth. The more we understand and prepare for the inevitable, the more we position ourselves to thrive rather than merely survive. One of the keys to embracing change is staying informed. Just pay attention to what's happening in your environment, industry, or community. Knowledge equips you to anticipate shifts and adapt before you're forced to react. Continuous learning is vital here, whether through books, courses, or discussions with mentors. When you commit to lifelong learning, you develop the flexibility to pivot when necessary, turning challenges into opportunities. But adapting to change also requires resilience. That means building the emotional and mental strength to handle setbacks, because not every change will go smoothly. Think of resilience as a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger you become. Face challenges head on and learn to view them not as threats, but opportunities to grow. Another important aspect of embracing change is surrounding yourself with the right people. Seek out mentors and peers or just a community that have successfully navigated similar changes. Their experiences can provide valuable insights and guidance, helping you avoid pitfalls and find the best path forward. Likewise, engage in self-reflection to better understand your responses to change. Ask yourself, How do I typically handle shifts in my life? And what can I learn from my past experiences? By embracing change with intention, you gain a competitive edge. When you actively prepare for and adapt to change, you're not just reacting to the world around you, you're shaping your role within it. Take, for example, industries that have undergone rapid transformations. The individuals and companies that succeeded were those who embraced change early, learning new skills and adopting new technologies before they became the standard. In your own life, embracing change means being willing to step out of your comfort zone. Maybe it's taking on a challenging project at work, or learning a new skill, or just having a difficult conversation you've been avoiding. The point is to see change as an opportunity to grow rather than something to fear. So think about the changes happening in your life right now. Are you resisting them, or are you finding ways to adapt and thrive? What's one area you can embrace change today? It doesn't have to be a big step. Small, consistent actions often lead to the greatest transformations. The key is to start, to stop resisting, and to begin to see change not as an enemy, but as an ally on your journey of growth. To truly harness the transformative power of change, it's not enough to merely embrace it. You must actively provoke and demand it. Passive acceptance of change leaves you at the mercy of external forces, where you react to the circumstances instead of shaping them. But when you take the initiative to provoke change, you place yourself in the driver's seat, turning uncertainty into opportunity and ensuring that the outcomes align with your goals and values. Proactive engagement with change starts with clarity. Identify the areas in your life where change is necessary or inevitable. Maybe it's your career, personal development, relationships, or just health. Without clear goals, you risk drifting aimlessly, reacting to the changes as they come, instead of directing them purposefully. For example, if you desire career advancement, you don't wait for someone to recognize your potential. You need to seek out opportunities to learn new skills and take on challenging projects and to connect with the mentors who can help you grow. History is full of examples of individuals and movements that actively demanded change, shaping the world around them in powerful ways. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't just sit back and hope for racial equality. He led with vision, courage, and action, demanding justice and inspiring a nation to confront its deep-seated inequalities. Similarly, in the world of innovation, figures like Steve Jobs didn't wait for the market to tell him what was possible. They pushed the boundaries, demanding excellence, and created products that revolutionized how we live and work. These examples remind us that the most significant changes are often the results of deliberate efforts and bold action. Provoking change also means embracing challenges. The path to meaningful transformation is rarely smooth, and setbacks are inevitable. But those setbacks are not barriers, they're stepping stones. Think of athletes who pushed their physical limits to achieve new records. Every failure teaches them something new about their capabilities, paving the way for future success. The same principle applies to your life. Challenges are opportunities to grow stronger, more resilient, and more capable. To take control of change in your life, start by setting clear, actionable objectives. What specific areas need transformation? For example, if you're seeking a healthier lifestyle, define exactly what that means. Is it just losing a certain amount of weight, improving your endurance, or simply feeling more energetic? Then you can create a step-by-step plan to reach your goal, breaking it down into manageable actions like meal prepping, exercising consistently, or prioritizing sleep. Next, take initiative. Don't wait for the ideal conditions to start. There will never be a perfect time. If you want to build stronger relationships, begin reaching out to people today. If you're working towards a financial goal, start by making small adjustments to your budget. Every proactive step you take moves you closer to the change you want to see. It's also crucial to seek feedback. Connect with mentors or trusted individuals who can provide guidance and constructive criticism. Their insight can help you refine your approach, keep you accountable, and ensure you're staying on track. Feedback isn't a sign of weakness, it's a tool for growth. Finally, maintain persistence. Demanding change requires grit and resilience, especially when the path becomes difficult. Remember that progress is often slow and setbacks are a natural part of the journey. Stay disciplined and focused on your long-term vision, even when the results aren't immediately visible. Challenges are inevitable when you provoke change, but there are also opportunities to grow. Embrace them instead of fearing them. Each obstacle you face builds resilience and teaches valuable lessons that prepare you for even greater challenges. Feedback is another essential tool in this process. Regularly seek guidance from mentors, colleagues, or trusted friends who can provide constructive criticism and help you refine your approach. Think about one area in your life where you've been waiting for change to happen. What can you do today to take control of that situation and provoke the transformation you need? Change doesn't wait for you. It's up to you to demand it. Take that first step. Embrace the challenges and trust that by actively engaging with change, you're shaping a future that reflects your purposes, values, and aspirations. Now, internal change is the foundation for any meaningful and lasting transformation. While external circumstances may seem like the drivers of change, true and sustainable shifts always begin within. To provoke change in your life or environment, you need to first understand yourself, your values, beliefs, strengths, and areas for growth. Without this self-awareness, any change you attempt will lack authenticity and alignment with your core purpose. Internal change starts with self-reflection. This means regularly examining your thoughts, emotions, and actions to understand what motivates you and what holds you back. For instance, if you're striving for professional growth, but you find yourself procrastinating, ask yourself why. Are you afraid of failure? Do you feel unprepared? Identifying the root causes of your behavior are the first step to addressing them effectively. Once you've gained clarity on your internal barriers and motivations, the next step is to align your actions with your values. Change that doesn't resonate with your core beliefs is unlikely to stick. If integrity, for example, is a core value for you, then any professional or personal decisions you make should reflect that. When your actions are consistent with your values, you not only build a stronger sense of self, but also inspire trust and respect from those around you. Self-awareness and alignment are only part of that equation. To catalyze internal change, you need to set clear, actionable goals. Define what success looks like for you and break it down into manageable steps. Use the SMART framework: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. This can help you create goals that are both realistic and motivating. For example, instead of setting a vague goal like get healthier, specify it. Exercise 3 times a week for 30 minutes. Another vital part of internal change is continuous learning. Growth requires that you challenge your current perspectives, acquire new skills, and remain open to evolving your understanding. Whether it's through books, courses, mentorship, or just simply engaging with diverse viewpoints, the act of learning keeps you adaptable and prepared for the challenges of change. Faith also plays a central role in internal transformation. A strong prayer life can ground you and provide clarity and resilience as you navigate change. Regular prayer helps you stay centered, reducing stress and enhancing your ability to make thoughtful decisions. By connecting with your spiritual foundation, you gain the strength to persevere and align your actions with a higher purpose. Feedback is another powerful tool for internal change. You have to seek out your trusted mentors and friends or colleagues who can offer constructive criticism and fresh perspectives. They may see a blind spot that you've overlooked or provide encouragement when you feel stuck. The goal of feedback isn't to criticize, but to help you refine your approach and stay on the path to growth. Building resilience is essential for sustaining internal change. Life will inevitably throw obstacles your way, but resilience allows you to navigate those obstacles with grace and determination. Cultivate this mindset by viewing setbacks not as failures, but as opportunities to learn and grow. Every challenge you face strengthens your ability to handle the next one. Think about specific areas of your life where internal change is needed. Is it in your mindset, your habits, or your relationships? Reflect on how self-awareness, aligned actions, continuous learning, and resilience can help you make that shift. Internal change may not be quick or easy, but it lays the foundation for external transformation. When you commit to growing from within, you set yourself up for lasting success and a meaningful impact. Change is one of the most powerful catalysts for personal growth. When you actively engage with change instead of merely reacting to it, you push yourself outside of your comfort zone, which is where true growth happens. The discomfort that often comes with change is exactly what helps you develop new skills, gain new experiences, and ultimately become the person you're meant to be. Think about it. Every time you face a challenge, you're given the opportunity to learn and grow. When you're forced to adapt to a new job, a new city, or a new relationship, you're learning how to navigate the unfamiliar. And this adaptability is a key trait of personal growth. The more challenges you take on, the more you develop the resilience, the problem-solving skills, and the emotional intelligence needed to handle future obstacles. This process of pushing past your comfort zone doesn't just enhance your external circumstances, it strengthens your internal foundation. As you face challenges, you learn more about your own abilities, fears, and your limits. You discover what you're truly capable of and where your boundaries lie. You begin to see that growth doesn't just happen in moments of success, but in all the moments that you're forced to confront the difficulties head on and work through them. One of the most significant impacts of change on personal growth is that it builds resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, and it's one of the most valuable traits you can cultivate. When you face adversity, your capacity to recover, learn, and to try again becomes a cornerstone of your personal development. With each experience of overcoming adversity, you're going to become more confident in your ability to handle life's challenges. This confidence isn't just about being arrogant or think you can do it all. Trust me, it's a major flaw of mine. It's about trusting in your ability to adapt, to learn, and to grow no matter what life throws your way. Moreover, embracing change teaches you to become more flexible. Life doesn't always go according to plan, and change is a constant reminder that adaptability is the key to success. Those who resist change often find themselves stuck in old habits and mindsets, unable to evolve with the circumstances around them. On the other hand, those who embrace change can transform setbacks into opportunities. They see that change, even when it's difficult, can lead to something better, a new direction, a new opportunity, or even a deeper understanding of themselves. Another way that change impacts personal growth is by forcing you to clarify your goals and values. As you encounter new experiences, you're forced to reassess your priorities. When you're faced with a significant change, whether it is career, relationship, or personal health, you have to reconsider what's truly important to you. What do you want to prioritize moving forward, and what do you want to leave behind? These moments of reflection, catalyzed by change, often help you refine your vision of your life and guide your decisions toward more meaningful outcomes. Lastly, the personal growth that results from change is often seen in your relationships. As you grow and evolve, you influence the people around you. By embracing change, you set an example of resilience, adaptability, and a commitment to self-improvement. Your growth can inspire others to step out of their own comfort zones and pursue change in their own lives. When you change for the better, you create a ripple effect that can positively impact your community, your family, and even your professional network. To put it simply, change is a powerful force for good in your life, as long as you learn to engage with it rather than avoiding it. It might seem uncomfortable, but it's precisely in that discomfort that the seeds of growth are planted. By facing challenges head on, you'll develop the resilience, adaptability, and strength needed to strive in an ever-changing world. Embrace change and watch it transform you into the best version of yourself. So now that we've explored the importance of provoking and demanding change, it's time to dive into some actionable steps that we can take to start making a real impact on our lives. The key to applying Rule 10 isn't just about recognizing that change is inevitable, it's about taking control of that change and shaping it to your advantage. Start by identifying small changes in your daily routine or environment that you can influence. Whether it's a shift in how you manage your time, how you interact with others, or how you approach your personal growth. Small changes can add up to significant transformation over time. Recognize these subtle shifts as opportunities to create the life you want to live. Next, think about how you can control local changes, those within your small world. This could be at home, at work, or within your community. What actions can you take to steer these changes in a positive direction? This could be something as simple as setting new boundaries, improving communication with those around you, or finding ways to contribute more actively to your environment. Don't wait for others to change around you. Take the initiative and lead the way. To initiate internal change, reflect on the areas where you've been stuck or resistant to change. This might be habits, thought patterns, or areas of personal development where you've been complacent. What's one thing you can change internally to shift the trajectory of your life? Maybe it's developing more discipline, cultivating a positive mindset, or letting go of limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. Internal transformation lays the groundwork for broader external change. Now, take a moment to envision the broader impact of the changes you initiate. Think about how small changes could ripple outward and affect others. If you make a positive shift in your own life, how might others influence your family, workplace, or your community? Visualize the long-term impact of changes you're demanding and the potential for growth it could bring, not just for you, but for those around you. Finally, redefine and act. Redefine the changes you want to make and break them down into practical steps. Take action today. Change does not happen overnight, but it starts with that first purposeful step. Proactively plan out your actions and follow through. Your ability to influence the change around you is only as strong as your willingness to take the first step and to keep pushing forward. As we wrap up today's discussion on Rule 10, you cannot just welcome change. You must provoke it, demand it, and it must come from within. Let's recap what we've learned and how we can apply it in our daily lives. Change is inevitable, but how we respond to it makes all the difference. We have the choice to either let change happen to us or to take control of it and direct it in the way that aligns with our goals, values, and aspirations. Embracing change doesn't mean passively accepting everything that comes our way. It means being proactive, initiating change, and demanding the best version of ourselves in the process. When we do this, we grow, not only in our personal lives, but also in our ability to positively influence the world around us. Take this challenge with you today. Think about where you want to provoke change in your life and make a plan to take action. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Your ability to demand and drive change is what will shape your future. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Chasing Masculinity. If you've enjoyed today's discussion, please subscribe so you do not miss any future episodes. Your support really helps spread the word and lets more people find this community that we're building. Share this episode with someone you know and who could benefit from hearing this message. Let's continue to embrace change and challenge ourselves every day. You can also connect with me on social media. Follow me on X and Instagram at Mr. Wutzke. I'd love to hear how you're applying Rule 10 and what changes you're demanding in your life. Until next time, keep chasing masculinity, and remember, change is not something that happens to you, it's something you can create.